That was the best.
Good
Welcome to Hot
morning.
Topics. So what people didn't see was just before we were just having a quick conversation with something, and I was like, okay, well, we have to go live now. And Faye literally like pops into action. She's like, okay, I'm ready. It was awesome.
I was ready. I just put a bigger smile on my face.
Bigger smile on, exactly.
We were already laughing, so it doesn't matter. We're always laughing about something in our lives.
Something. Yes, what we were just talking about. So happy Wednesday. We are back. You are in the midst of still craziness, but we're at the home stretch of craziness.
We're in the home stretch. So we, as you guys know, I'm moving. So everything is finally done. They're coming to take pictures and video today. It's been an interesting experience because I've sold lots of places and always done it on my own. And we're using, one of Gord's friends, and there's been a stager here. And I mean, I already kind of staged my house, you know what I mean? And, but it's interesting because you have to like, okay, let it go, let them do what they want. Even if you don't like it, let them do what they want.
Right. Well, stagers, and like you had said before, stagers have their own, I love them.
Yeah.
I think they're absolutely worth their weight in gold.
Yeah.
But they do have their own idea of the way things should look.
Right. It's usually not your idea.
Right. So an interesting question you pointed out was like the difference between one piece of artwork versus another piece of artwork. And would that prevent you or encourage you to buy the house?
Yeah. And I say no, but I can see past everything. I mean, if there was a bunch of artwork on Satan and devil worshiping on the walls, I probably would think twice about buying that house.
I'm out.
But my stuff's really generic, and they swap it out for different generic.
Right.
Because the couple pictures that I love are massive and big, and you can't touch them. It's like Peter Lick. I have a beautiful, stunning, if anyone doesn't know Peter Lick, look him up. It's Lik. He's this phenomenal photographer, and the giant size art pieces that halogen light shines on like that. You can't move that if you wanted to.
It's massive.
It's massive. So, but like, I'm not, to me, everything in a house is just things, right?
Right.
It's just things. So I'm not married to anything. I know people who've had stagers that will not allow them to change certain things. And I said, I don't care, do anything you want, but I do live here. So I do have to have my internet hooked up, right? My son lives here. He goes to virtual school, right? So there are certain things that like it or not, they're staying. Right?
Well, that's the thing. And as much as you want to come into a house and look at it like it's a show home and nobody's ever lived here and I can picture all of my stuff.
Yeah.
I also want to see how people live. So I'm not the person who can necessarily see past everything.
Right.
So paint colors, absolutely. But I remember going into one house that we bought and they had this really big chair. And I was like, oh, I want a chair like that because I love the way that the room looks. Right. So when it's lived in, to me, you can also picture how you will live in it.
Yeah. It's like we took the TV out of the family room. Well, that's just silly for me. For me, that's silly. I'm okay with it because maybe people actually don't watch TV. I do. Maybe they don't. So it's fine. There's in other rooms, but like I would just personally, I would leave it, incorporate it because I like people who don't have a vision can say, oh, that's where I can put the TV. Right.
Yes. Like someone like me who I don't have that skill in my brain. I would want to see how you have things laid out. Like I would never want to look at an empty house.
Right.
Because then I'd be like, but I need ideas. I need to see how somebody else.
I like empty houses better. Right.
Right. So you can
walk in and go, like when I walk in, I just kind of blank everything out and go, okay, get rid of all this. This is what I would do. So, but it's been interesting because, you've had to make sure everything's working and it's hard to have all your appliances working in COVID, right? Because you're waiting for parts and you guys know, I've told you all my customer service horror stories. So, I got everything working and I've had a problem with the dishwasher forever, for a long time. And, the tray falls. It's a Bosch. I know you guys love customer service stories, and the tray fell, and it was and so you have to pick it up, and it's very hard, and it broke the door arm swing because of it, and I didn't know what to do. Finally, said, okay, I looked on the boards, and some girl said Bosch sent them extra large wheels and it fixed the problem because there's a problem with the design, right?
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
I sat on Bosch customer service telephone for 3 hours. I left it there beside me. No one picked up. 3 hours on hold, twice.
Wow.
And then I emailed them and I got a form letter and said, somebody will be back to you 7 days, nothing. And then I went on their Facebook and I posted about my bad experience along with a million other people. And then whoever controls their social media said, please send us a private message. So I did. And you know what they sent back? Contact customer service.
Not helpful.
So I hate to say this because now all you guys are going to run to him. But so what I did was I was like, to hell with this. Guys, I always go to the CEO or the president because I get fed up with people. So I looked the CEO up on LinkedIn, and it was like a Thursday night or something at 8:00 at night. And I sent him a note and I said, look, can you just get somebody to call me? Basically, because nobody there. And he replied in 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, he replied and said, I'm sorry that you had such an un-Bosch experience. And the next day, customer service from the US called me. Not only did they call me 3 times, they set up a service call.
Wow.
To come in. They're coming in on Wednesday, and they said they're going to replace the wheels. The arm swing was a recall as well, and everything's going to be fixed. So sometimes, even though it's frustrating and you go through all this, what you realize is, instead of buying a new one, everything would have been replaced. So
right.
I would have been out a lot of money, about $1,000, right? And now they're coming. So moral of the story is, if you can't get anywhere, go to the top.
Don't give up. Because unfortunately, that's what ends up happening is you get very frustrated, right? So you end up just going, forget it. I don't want to deal with this company anymore. I'm just going to go buy a new one because that's the easier solution.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's been, I know I've told you guys a lot of customer service stories in the last year, but I think it's really important that you understand that there are ways to solve these things, and there are people that are actually helpful and nice. Right. Yes. But you just have to find them, and you have to keep at it. And it is a pain because it would have been a lot easier to just pick up the phone and get a new one. But I didn't want to spend $1,000 on a dishwasher that I know I'm moving. Right. But it needs to be.
And the fact that it works.
Yeah.
Like it still works. You just need
it works. It's a
works.
pain in the butt. It's really hard to do, but it works. So, and so when you're selling a house, the problem these days is because all the parts are not coming in, you have to leave things in good working order. What do you do?
Right.
So you have to basically tell them, look, like if they moved in today, they'd have to wait for the service call.
So, anyway. Cheap and cheerful. Fix it. It's not hard. So anyway, it's all good.
Yeah.
So you're in the home stretch, which is great for people who are following us along. It's been crazy for you this summer. A lot of moving, a lot of organizing, a lot of moving.
And speaking of moving, just so you guys know, we were supposed to do our Get Visible conference this weekend. Right?
Yeah, it was going to be starting on Friday.
And sometimes you have to just say, even though there's tons of interest and we sold a lot of tickets, I just, number one, the studio wasn't ready.
Yes.
So, and we thought it'd be ready back in 1st of August. It wasn't ready. It's not going to be ready for another month. And given all this stuff, I said to Stacy, I don't know if I can talk for 3 days because I'm exhausted. I'm doing all this stuff. So we made a decision. We said, you know what? What's in the best interest of our customers, of our clients? What's in their best interest for us to keep pushing through and doing a mediocre job, or to do what we really wanted to do? So we decided to postpone until January. And because we got to postpone it, we're making it bigger and better even, right? So,
well, what was really interesting for me was the reaction.
Right.
So, because sometimes, people are like, oh, but like I'd already planned or whatever. Yeah. Every single person. So the bulk email that went out to the attendees, the people who bought tickets, and then I sent individual emails to the speakers.
Right.
obviously letting them know that, could you
You
save
could
the
put
date for January? And did you still want to participate in January?
yes.
Each speaker that wrote back was like, oh my God, that sounds fantastic. Actually, that works out so much better for me.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to January. I've already blocked in my calendar, like super positive responses, even from people that we don't really know very well.
Yeah.
So I guess it was in the cards.
Yeah, sometimes it works out. Things work out for the best. We were just talking about that on another thing before we
Yeah.
got on live, that you don't even see, right? And so I know I'm going to be for sure way more relaxed. We're going to be in our new studio.
Yep.
Everything will be ready to go. We're not going to be scrambling. And so for me, it'll be a much, much better event because we're so looking forward to it without any challenges in the back end.
Yeah, and you're right. It's not fair. And I think, postponing something is better than, you're right, delivering a subpar quote
Right.
unquote product or
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Right. And we put a lot of time, a lot of effort into the planning. We want to deliver the best content and the best experience. And sometimes it doesn't happen exactly on the date that you want, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So we postponed it. And like I said, I'm just, every speaker is like, oh, actually, that works out so much better for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know what it was. Anyway, it was in the cards.
Yeah. It was, well, it's tough. September, people went back to school and back to work, some people, but we're still in limbo, at least here in Canada and Ontario. We still hear rumors of schools shutting down again and stuff. So, I think people are kind of like, well, what am I doing exactly? I'm not going to work. I'm going to work. And
Yeah.
now vaccine passports are coming in.
Yeah.
Right. They're coming in soon, right? Next week.
Next week.
And so you must have your double shots in order to, or single if you have that vaccine, in order to go to restaurants, sporting events, you name it, concerts, pretty much everything, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And I was just watching sort of the rules and stuff like that, and what's coming out and stuff. But it was interesting was the emphasis on, so this is where I find human nature and the public, sometimes some of the stuff is really disappointing. Like
right.
The police are getting ready.
Yeah.
The 911 operators are getting ready because they know that people are going to push back, and they're getting ready. So it's like, if there's a problem, if somebody's, angry at you because they're asking for that, then the police are going to be ready, and the 911 operators are prepared to take those calls. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we're creating an infrastructure around assuming that people are going to react badly.
And there will be people that act badly.
Absolutely.
But can I just give a shout out to everyone that's listening today? The person that owns the restaurant or the waitress or whoever, this is not her. She's not asking you personally for your passport. It's government enforced. So stop yelling at these people that are on the front line of restaurants and movies and everything else. Yeah. It's not their fault. If you want to go yell and don't like it, go to the government, do a protest, do something, but leave people who are trying to do their jobs alone. Okay. They don't have a choice in the matter. And shame on you if you're yelling and screaming at a hostess at a restaurant, because we've heard about it, right?
Well, that's the thing that that somebody was talking about, was the fact that a lot of frontline staff, so a lot of the waiters, the waitresses, the hostesses are new.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're rehiring, and because their old staff sometimes have found new positions, and depending on what had gone on, they needed to make money. Totally respect that.
Okay.
They need to hire new. And they said, so here's this new waitress starting a job, trying to figure everything out, learning the ropes. And now they have to say, can you prove that you're vaccinated? And that's who they're worried about. They're not necessarily worried about the business owner, because they're like, not my fault, it's the government. Yeah. But the waitress is the person who's originally dealing with that. So they said they felt very bad for that person.
And here's the problem. And this is the one that I'm really worried about, because I work obviously with a restaurant chain. And here's the problem. You walk into the restaurant chain, there's no hostess. You just sit, because it's a quick serve restaurant. It's a breakfast place, right? So it says, please be seated, big sign, and you sit. So you go sit at a table, and now the waitress comes over and says, can I see your stuff? And they say, and they don't have it. How do you kick them out if they won't leave their seats?
Right.
that's when you have to call the police. And unfortunately, I am praying that most people are okay, but unfortunately there will be people like that.
Yeah. And that's the unfortunate part, right? That's, again, protesters all for it, but protest in the right spot.
Yeah.
Go to the government who's making these rules. Don't,
Yeah.
protest to the restaurants, the small business owners, people who are enforcing the rules, because the other piece is that they also have community officers who are going to look at the businesses to ensure that they're enforcing it.
Right.
So interesting.
Very crazy. So what's going on with you? I haven't seen you in like a couple of days.
I know, right? No, you know what? Interesting. Just plugging along. So our podcast did launch again today. On season 3, which is really cool. So one of the things that you don't realize sometimes, so my first instinct yesterday was, starting season 3, we need to create a new intro and outro. So that's sort of where my brain goes, because I like to mix it up and we have different stuff going on. And, maybe our outro from last season wasn't so, like, my first instinct, literally texted Fay, was like, can you jump on? Need 5 minutes? Let's figure what we're going to say, blah, blah, blah. I'll put it all together because that's what I like to do. And then I realized that, and I always do that. We always think forward.
Yeah.
We always think go for the new, right? I need to put this out on social media. I need a new image. I need a new image. I need a new image. I need a new intro. I need a new this. I need a new that. However, for anybody that's been doing business for a long time, I bet you have stuff in the archives.
Yes.
I bet there's an image out there that you used maybe 4 years ago that's absolutely perfect for what you need today, and you don't need to create that new. So my second thought after I texted her was to go back and look and see what we had done before. And we had a fantastic intro and outro that actually wasn't used, because sometimes you take different takes and it's like, okay, I really like this one, but I, mix it with different music. Boom. It's a whole new thing. So we didn't have to get online. And it's the same thing. It was really funny. So next week we're starting our networking. So we're doing a weekly networking event Tuesdays at 10, and I needed an image. So I immediately go to Canva and I'm like, and again, keeping in mind, someone like myself, I love templates. Same reason why when I move into a house, I need it to be furnished. I need a template. People who start with blank on a Canva thing or a house like you can't do it. Not in my brain space. So anyway, we're starting networking events next week with Mastermind City. First thought, I need a new image. And I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute. We did this before. Back up into my archives and boom, there's an image that's perfect. And somebody goes, wow, that's a really great image. Because people don't remember. No. They can't. You do not. People don't have the mental capacity to remember something that you posted 6 months ago.
No,
it doesn't work like that. So look back. What have you used before, and see if you can use it for something that's new. And you've seen it, and I guess, and we've had this conversation a lot too around, like, you're invested in your images more than other people are. You're invested in the color of your brand more than other people are. And you think, oh my goodness, I've used that, I can't use it again. Yes, you can.
Yeah, nobody sees it. I don't even, sometimes, you guys know we have somebody that Spencer posts for us for social media. And sometimes she posts things and I don't even remember getting that picture taken or whatever, but it had posted like a year prior, right?
Yeah.
But you don't even remember any of it. So if I don't even remember it, nobody else is going to remember it.
I did the same thing. I'm like, where'd that picture come from?
Yeah, right?
Did we take that? I guess. I don't remember it. But again, depending what you do with it. So you can always take what you have and repurpose or just change it up a little bit. But you don't always, again, I guess that's the part, like, everyone always feels like I have to do new. I have to do new. I have to do fresh. I have to do this. But if you're consistent with your branding all along, you absolutely can go back, pull an image that you used a couple of years ago, or pull an image even that you used 6 months ago, whatever, like, change it slightly. And maybe, the text that you put with it is different, but the image still stands. So you don't always have to do new and take that time, because that would have, like, that 5 minutes that I asked you for would have turned into, okay, let's have a quick conversation. How are things going? You would have stopped what you're doing. And we all know when you interrupt the flow of what you're doing, you also takes you so much time to get back on track.
And I'll tell you, I was painting the front door yesterday, and I could feel I saw a text like on the phone from you, and I was like, ah, shit, she wants to do it now. Like covered in paint, half the door's done. And then it was you saying, oh, no, never mind. I think we're good. And I was like, yes. So I didn't have to do anything. It wasn't the 5 minutes. It was dropping everything and doing it, which was, because if anyone has ever done things like manual stuff, painting and that, you have to keep going, because once you stop, you don't want to start again, right?
That's exactly. You get into the flow. Like you said, that 5 minutes would have turned into probably an hour because
and an excuse not to go back and paint the rest. Because I really didn't want to do it, but I knew it had to be done.
Yeah. And it's the interruption, and you have to go wash your hands, and you have to do this, and you didn't have to look good, but you couldn't touch your computer with painted it was just So the other funny part was, because I had texted her, I ended up getting a pocket dial.
Yeah.
Or a pocket text audio message.
Yes.
I've also been pocket dialed.
Yes.
So I don't know if there's anyone, I don't know how you feel, but people have pocket dialed me. And I get excited.
Yeah, because you want to hear something cool.
I do. It's like I answer and I wait.
Like, talk about me.
I'm waiting because my husband has pocket dialed me. My son has pocket dialed me. And this is like, I love it, because I'm like, they don't know I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
So I wait. I don't know if anyone else does that. Maybe they think it's creepy, but I do. I have yet, like, the most boring conversations. My husband pocket dials me. Nothing.
Mine was the most boring yesterday.
Yours was probably the most. Yeah, I get the audio message, and I'm like, literally, it's a 6-minute audio message. I didn't listen for 6 minutes because I listened for 30 seconds, and this is what I heard.
Because I was painting, and she was hearing my pants, my scrubs rub up against my phone. That was it. She might have heard a paintbrush. There's nobody to talk to.
Like, my son has pocket dialed me, and I'm listening, and all I hear is walking, and I'm like, can't you talk to somebody? It's interesting.
Exactly. It's funny though, right? Because, and then you get nervous because when you realize you sent it, but I didn't have to worry about it because all I was doing was painting. When I saw it, I was like, I shall just listen to 10 seconds and delete because there's nothing on it. But yeah, then you go, what did I say? Right. And then some people don't know sometimes though, right? Because I sent an audio text, but most people are just, they don't know that it's a live call, right? Mine was different.
Yeah, it was yeah, exactly.
But like, people, they don't even know they did it.
Mm-hmm. No, it's true, because like sometimes on the phone I'm like waiting, and then it's like 2 minutes, and I'm like, all right, this is really boring.
Yeah.
And then I go, oh, by the way, I listened to you walk for 2 minutes, and they're like, what? Because when you hang up, their phone goes back to the home screen.
Well, that's the problem. I'll tell you, like a regular phone, right? That's the problem. Remember, the cool thing about flip phones is that couldn't happen. You didn't pocket one, right? And now they've come out, right? Did you see? I think it was Samsung or something came up.
Samsung, yeah, they have a flip, yeah,
that can stay up, or you can flip it down. So it was kind of interesting. Unfortunately, I'm still going to always be an Apple girl. But is there a way to prevent it? Well, no, because I never even if you lock, it still doesn't work. Like, you can still dial people, you know what I mean?
Right.
Unless you actually shut it down. So, but I did go a little long, but the Apple phone. Oops.
Speaking of the Apple phone, just like that. It's like you called them. It's like Beetlejuice.
The Apple phone 13, right? 13 came out. They announced it yesterday.
Oh, I missed that. How did I miss that?
It was Tuesday. Yeah, they announced it. It wasn't big news. They just said it was a crisper, it was a better battery life, a crisper picture, something, a few things. Not a lot of difference, couple new colors. Yeah, a little bit boring, nothing too exciting. But then I was like, oh, well, maybe that's why I never ended up getting my phone. I guess I'm waiting to move to the new place, and then I can get my Apple 13 now. But I was kind of like, it was interesting, like it's a 13, and most people skip numbers 13, which is really weird that people skip the number 13. But yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe that's my lucky number.
I'm actually surprised because they skipped 9. So I was kind of expecting them to skip 13 and go right to 14.
Yeah. Weird, right?
I
But
kind of like 13.
I do too. It seems like, and there's some blue phone that I want to see too.
Oh, actually, you know what? Now that you're saying that, I did see somebody talk about the different colors of phone.
Right.
They're really excited about the blue and pink
Right.
of the colors. So maybe that's what she was talking about. It was just on TikTok. So I was just
Kind of
me
cool, right?
scrolling. This is the international symbol for scrolling.
That's right. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did see that yesterday. So yeah, I didn't realize that was the new phone. I just wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, so we'll have to check that out and let you guys know. And we have a couple of really exciting things coming up in Mastermind City. So keep listening and watching, because there's a bunch of brand new things launching in a week or two, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll keep that under wraps for now. But you need to go back because you are final touches of getting your host listed. So
last day, yay! Last day, and then
well, ironically, last day for you to do that, and then we also have the last day of our GIA students today.
Oh, that's right. So we end. Which is really exciting because it's graduation day. They've gone through the whole.
I'm kind of sad a little bit. This was a great group.
It was, but we are starting a brand new group in October.
Yeah, October. Let me look at the date quickly. October 18th.
So you can go to Join GIA, I think.
JoinGIA.com. For those of you who are outside of Canada, we did maneuver it around the Canadian Thanksgiving. Yeah. We're Canadians. So that's why we're starting a little bit later
than we would
in the fall.
Yeah. So October, it'll be great. There's, brand new students, a great opportunity for you guys to start in 8 weeks. As we've told you many times, launch videos, launch podcasts, get your message going, everything you need to really finally commit to getting your business online. So don't miss that opportunity to join us. And then right after essentially that session, you'll be moving right into the conference.
Which is perfect. So that timing is working out really well. I'm excited because I've seen, so there's a couple of students I just sort of paid attention to yesterday because they were showing up in my feed. And it's been really cool to see them so disjointed and their signature message so all over the map, and to see them finally kind of hone that in and go and feel proud and good and going like, this is who I am, and showcasing that. And it's like, okay, like it's just fun. It's fun to see. So yes, graduation day today, but they're still part of our group. So anybody that's joined in the past can absolutely join on future ones as well. So it's been really good to see some of the past students join this study lounge as well, and not necessarily go through it, but to offer sort of their guidance as well. So it's been a fun session.
Yeah, for sure. So you don't want to miss it, guys. Give it a shot. Just take a look, see if it's right for you, and we'd be happy for you to join us.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you have yourself a good week, and good luck with the sale of your house. And we'll find out next week how it all went.
See ya.